Chad. Here we go. This is Seaside. Yep, this is Seaside last Sunday. So, here we go. Yeah, so Seaside, definitely a trickier wave than most. A lot of people either love it or they hate it. I happen to love it. It's one of my favorite waves. Just because of the variety out there. You got where you were surfing is called parking lots. Outside, they call it the reef. That's mainly a left. There is a good right off it too sometimes. And then Palisades, they call it, is on the south end, and that is a good left and also a good right will reform off of the outside waves too. But anyways, tons of variety, super fun. I love this wave. It's really consistent. So anyways, I wanted you to go out here, and there wasn't anyone out when you went out there, and for good reason. It wasn't super good, but you know, there's some waves. But anyways, so you were kind of like over where I told you to go, but should have been over to the south just a little bit more, and I think you did move over there. See on this wave, just being over right here a little bit more, obviously you would have been getting that wave better. Let's go to the next one. That's that one I liked. I thought you made a good line on it. Got in, you know, you waited for a second till you were really in it before you got up, and once you got up, that wave is really fast, especially where you were that area. Um, it's usually really hard to make those sections. So usually people are over here on the shoulder more. They can catch that wave a little better. But you did. You went up and you had all this speed right there, and then if you would have just kind of maybe not bottom turn so hard right there. Like maybe you didn't need to go all the way to the bottom on that. Yeah, I think you could have like kind of taken this line and then kind of like a small bottom turn, and then just you would have been floating over this section. You maybe went a little too far down, so by the time you got to the bottom, the wave was just going to close out, and you didn't have really any room to do anything. So when you came up, it was already breaking, and you had the right idea, just not this wave. It was too closed out. So if you would have taken this line right here, stay a little higher, then you could have kind of had this projection right here, and just kind of, you wouldn't have a ton of speed, but you definitely would have had enough to get up on the slip right here and kind of float over it. But you're just a little too late. Obviously, okay, so let's see this kid. This is a kid that I sponsor for Froth. He's 16. Surfs, I think surfs are pretty good. Let's see his approach here. Kind of went up. He had no speed right there. That wave was not a ton of opportunities. You got a few opportunities on the outside, and that's where this is at. So things kind of wait. You have to kind of wait for the section to come to you. Pretty solid cut back. Fluid motion. All one move. See, he just goes. He comes in, bottom turns, and it's all one move. All the way back. Even that's still part of the flow. So it's a lot of good flow in that. And then the wave's done. Okay, let's go see this one. So, let's see, you're getting in this one. It's a good wave, really. It's a pretty good wave. You're just caught behind it just a little bit. See, there's not really much you could have done. See, I'm trying to think if you would have just maybe taken a little bit more approach like this way instead of going down in here, just kind of get up and try to go this way, because you know this wave, if you surfed here a few times, you know you need to get kind of out in front of it because it goes pretty quick. See these little sections right here? Like if you're just a little bit out here, like that's a good section. Maybe like right there. You'll see it come down a little bit more. It's kind of soft, but just good enough to hit. And you're just caught behind it a little bit. By the time you caught up, you know, I guess you were kind of feeling like you were losing a little speed, so you're a little bouncing. But you didn't really. Sometimes you think, like, sometimes bouncing like that, like, kind of maybe gets you amped to go into a turn. I used to do that a lot when I was younger, like, kind of like little bounces at it because I'm like so amping. I want to do a huge turn right there, but not always necessary. Sometimes, I don't know. Maybe you didn't need to do that, but a little bounce, and then you're going to go into your turn. So you had it. Like you're doing that good turn, fluid motion. I like that. That was pretty good. Not bad. Gave up right there. Could have pulled that. You wouldn't have just straightened out right there because you didn't have really much. If you just like kind of turned and then recover right there, like just start. Once you go back in the whitewash, you kind of want to bank off the whitewash, but in this case, you kind of went back into it, and you're in the whitewash, but you kind of want to come up and go over it, and then this wave will push you back out here again. That's the idea. But you had it. You're good. You're on your rail. I like the way your arms are, where your head is. You're looking where you're going to go. That's good. But the wave is not much. You know, I think you'll get better at those on little bigger waves that are steeper. Try doing that, and you'll see you'll just slingshot. You'll slingshot. If it's a bigger wave and it's more steep, when you come out and you turn, you're gonna like just go whip right into that. And you just gotta be ready when you come back here. It's just doing like a backside hit, and then you want to come back around. Let's go into the next one. Charlie going out. Charlie going out. So here's the kid. I don't know what am I going to say about this. Good. You know, he came up. He knew he wanted the bottom turn to come up and do his maneuver. And he kind of did all he could do right there. There really wasn't much more. It was like, go up and do a cut back. I don't know if maybe... Yeah, kind of did what he had to do. And then it was like, go up and do the maneuver. And I get this kid, you know, the kids have the errors in their minds. And the thing is, like, a lot of these kids, they don't pull these errors. They just get so used to doing these flyaways, and then they don't ever like really learn how to pull a lot of things. Because it's, I mean, I don't think he's trying to do a maneuver right there. Maybe he just kind of was like, fuck it. But that was a good section to do a hit on. Not a weird error thing, flyaway. But see, he was even like, he wasn't going too high. I mean, he wasn't going too low. He was staying high. Because maybe he knew if he went low right here, this wave would already be breaking. So he stayed high, and he timed it right. Like he was launching off that section. Except he was launching the wrong way. You could be hitting that section and projecting out this way. But let's go to the next one. Charlie. Charlie's like got a really good bottom turn. He's always doing like real solid bottom turns. And you can see like he's timing. He's just looking for that timing. and he bottom turns. He sees that section. He's like looking, maybe right here. Let's see what he does. Pretty much. And he's just going vertical. So, I mean, everything in there is good. He just didn't like really follow through. Maybe laid back too much. Like once you're up here, it's just like you kind of want to get over your board. Maybe he's laying back too far. If he's over his board, he would get that more projection to come down over here. Obviously, it's so easy just to say what to do when you're not out there, but he like laid back a little bit too much, and then he tried to recover and get on top. But I think he would have pulled this if he would have stayed on top of his board a little bit more. It's definitely harder than what it sounds like, but that's what you want to do. See this dude. Let's watch it in fast motion. Pretty right on. What else are you gonna do? It's like the end of the wave. You just want to come up and hit that section. And he stayed on top of his board. He didn't lay back till there because he's falling off, but he stayed on top of his board right there. And then he kind of fell back a little bit, but that was pretty good. I like that one. Let's keep moving. The Grom. See, he's just working his board. He didn't hop. He was moving up and down the board, the wave right there. See? Wasn't much wave. He's just going back and forth, up and down that wave. And those are the kind of floaters that I wanted you to do. See, he didn't. It looks like he did a hit, but that was a floater. He just kind of floated over this little end of the section. But he kind of threw like a little hit into it. And that made the spray come off. But those are the kind of maneuvers I think you should start trying to do. And then, the idea is for him to hit this section and then keep going. And he would have if he would have just stayed on top of it and not tried to do the hit like that. If he would have just floated over it, then he would have been over here. And maybe in a contest that would have been a bigger score because he would have floated literally over this whole section and then been out here and do another maneuver. Let's see this. The outside is really mushy and you're always like waiting. This is the inside. And you got a little tube. Another like kid, he surfs good out here. But let's see, he's kind of the outside. That's not even a real outside one. It's like an inside or outside one, but came up. He knew what he wanted to do, but there was nothing up there when he got up there. So now it's just kind of like, what am I going to do? Just wait. That wasn't really a maneuver, It's just kind of like a check. And then the only thing, which was the best part of this wave, was him getting the barrel. And he, he sees it. He's stalling to kind of put himself in the right position. And then he saw that barrel like back here, right? He's looking over here going, this thing's going to kind of wedge up and double up. So he's looking ahead of himself. And he timed it perfectly. Got about as deep as he could get in that little weird wave and whipped his hair back. So let's see this one. So let's see here. Maybe, the thing is on these waves, like you gotta get up and start hauling ass to make these little sections. Obviously you want to get over here is your goal. Like on a wave like this, it's like go as fast as I can and get around this shit. But that was a tough one. Let's Let's see this one. Guy surf's good. That guy surf's good too. I'm just gonna wait because there's another wave up here. That guy surf that I want to show you. Yeah, see, that's just those are the floaters that you should be working on. He's just driving, going down the line, trying to go as fast as he can. Notice, like a lot of these people, he's trying to go as fast as he can. And when he sees that last opportunity to do anything, he's just like throwing his board up there. See, it's not a lot of effort. It's just throw it up there and then kind of like just letting the wave do its thing. Just try to stay on top of your board. And by the time he's up here, by the time this wave has already broken, it's not going to be that hard to recover. It's really soft landing. Let's go to this one. I think this is the one I was going to show you. This guy. It's one of my friends. I think it's Zach Plopper. That was a good layback. Really solid layback. Let's just look at what he's doing. Kind of waited till he's in the wave, and he took that little first little, got right up there. Remember I always told you, like, just get right up here, and then you get a little bit more speed when you're trying to drive down the line. And this wave is flattening out right here, so he's trying to find any little speed pocket in here. He can't go up too high because the wave will die out. He doesn't want to go too low. He'll lose all his speed. So he's kind of staying in this middle section right here. And then he sees this area up here, and that's what we all look for, is those really good sections. Hit it a little late, but he had so much power he pushed his way through it. And then he just laid back, and when you lay back, that white water will just push you back up. But I don't expect you're doing these anytime soon. These are pretty tough. But just good to watch what other people are doing. Let's go here. So let's see here. You're in it, you're good. Wave's really weird. It's like breaking up here, but there's a wave down here. So that's why it's tricky. Out here, you're like, is this the bottom of the wave or is this the bottom of the wave? It's a weird wave. It's almost like he went into the double up, and then he kind of just wanted to see how aggressive that turn was. It was way too tight. It's like your board's straight, and all of a sudden your board's up. So when you did this, you now have zero speed. So now, like, there's really no projection. You're just kind of sitting there, and there's nothing you can do. So I think maybe a different approach on here would be like, you can't really do much more than what you're doing right there. I think you're fine, but it's like you're kind of like checking right there your speed, maybe subconsciously, because you saw that section. That was good. You saw the section, and you did hit it right, but should have been planning that maybe back a little further. You kind of like, you had your eye on it, but you went for the move too late. So maybe your bottom turn is right here. Is maybe like right here, like come up, and then you can go like this. And this, don't worry about going vertical. Worry about like just flowing over these sections. Because you could have come up and just flowed right over this. Just a little bam, and then come down here. That's it, just nice and easy. And you'll get these nice and easy ones, and then pretty soon you become sick of going nice and easy, and then you're gonna go boom and do a big huge bash right there. But just take it nice and easy at first. Where just like make sure you're flowing. If you're flowing, there's nothing wrong with that. It's perfect. Let's see this one. See, that's good. You have the right approach. Let's see here. Weird wave. Who knows? Where are you supposed to be? You laid back. So since you laid back, that's, see, all right here, perfect. You're fine right there. That's good. All you would have done is like just get above your board a little bit more and just come down right here, nice and easy. This would have been a little steep, but just nice and easy. That line right there. See, when you laid back, trying to get too gnarly, you know, and then you go throw it up there and you don't know what's gonna happen, how you're gonna pull it. You know, if you just kind of take it nice and easy and you just float over that, you'll pull it and you'll feel good, you'll feel confident, and then that will make you, you know, be that much better when you're in that situation again. Look at that wave. That's a good little wave. A little wedger. That was a wedger. I mean, the only thing you could have done right there is just try to be paddling into that wave. Maybe even on the shoulder more or pointing that way. But on a steep wave like this, that would have been tough for anybody to pull that. Just going really fast, and you're pointing this way almost, or straight, when you should be like going like this. But anyways, that would have been a good wave. This is Lonnie Brothers. He's a local out there. And that's called a pickle fork, I believe. But he's an old local out there. So we used to run the shit. So let's go. Play this one. Again, yeah, the good line. You're just trying to deal with this whole situation right here, which is not fun. But you dealt with it, and you're just kind of waiting for your moment. And you had the right idea. You're right there, perfect, dude. Look at, you would have been going right like that. Just all you gotta do is just try to stay on top of your board. Just maybe think about that when you're out there. Be like, I need to get on top of my board just a little bit more, and not lay back. Laying back, see? When you lay back, it's over. If you would have stayed on top of your board, you'd have been in control. You would have felt in control, and then you would have been floating through this, right over that. Nice and easy. It wouldn't even be hard. If you can just make that little transition of getting over your board more. So even like this kid, like, he comes up, but he stays over his board. See? Could have laid back right there too. It's really easy to lay back. I used to do so many laybacks when I was younger. And then Rob Machado came up to me. He's like, easy on the laybacks, bro. And that made me think, maybe I don't need to do this many laybacks. So let's see here. It comes up, he's over his board. Not the raddest like turn, but at least he's still going. He's left himself another opportunity. Let's see what he does. Just speed, stand high in the wave, and then he waits, goes to the bottom, then he hits it. That was a good hit. But the wave kind of died out. But see how he didn't really go to the bottom. He just stayed up top until he knew he was going to have to do his bottom turn to hit that section. Can't really throw your tail out like that if you don't do a bottom turn. It won't work. You couldn't be going like this and do that turn. You have to do this bottom turn. He did a really good deep bottom turn, and he had all his speed, so he kept going. He had projection, and he like threw his tail out a little bit for what that wave had, which wasn't much at that point, and he just didn't recover. He could have leaned a little bit more forward. He would have recovered from that. Charlie. Pretty solid. See, he knew that when he's taken up on this wave, that he had an opportunity to do a hit on this wave, because the wave wasn't like breaking fast down the line. It was more like a peak right here. So he knew. So that's why he went to the bottom first. He didn't take this line because he knew he wanted to hit the first section. So here he goes, bottom turn, and he's right in the meat of the wave. Not super like clean, but pretty good. And kind of went back into the wave a little bit more. It's like really fluid turn, and then recovered perfectly and came down and still had more speed to do another, just right into another bottom turn and then finish the wave. So that was good. The kid, aggressive. I like how like he was so aggressive in that turn, because like even being aggressive is part of doing big maneuvers, and you know, it's the having all that energy and using it. So here goes. So he goes in his bottom turn. He knows he wants to do something up here, and there wasn't much, but he gave it everything he had right there, and that's all you can do. And the wave had nothing left. See here, so this, okay, you got tripped up or something. It's okay, it happens. Speed. Notice he didn't bounce. He kind of, see, even right here, like maybe you might think he might be bouncing because this wave has nothing. He just says like this really relaxed stall. Oh, there's a little bounce. I think the wave was about to die had the bounce and not hop. But he found his little speed real quick. See that little bounce again. Just right into like gaining speed, bottom turn. And did a pretty dope little air. Didn't pull it. The air is another day. That's the kind of shit like this, what this guy did too. Just real mellow. Just kind of come up and just kind of float over, and see how mellow he is. Just took, let's see here. Just a little mini bottom turn, and just taking a little, you know, a little floater type thing. And he went right back into the wave. Did another one, back to back. That one is pretty dope. This is a good wave. Didn't pull it, but let's see this one. Took right up to the top. He knew he had to keep going, so he had to get up top right away. And then see, you went to the top, and these are also the floaters that I want you to do. Is this that speed floater? Floating, it's a maneuver, but it's also a way to get past all this crap and get speed out of it. Then he does a pretty big bottom turn. I think he maybe did too big of a bottom turn. I don't know. It's tough to say. That's pretty good. Let's go to the next one. Here we go. Okay. Paddling. You're in it good. You went right into your bottom turn, so it looked like you saw a section and you did something. That's good. So the only thing I could say is like you did good right there. Just this motion right here, just flow. Don't do like, you know, mechanical turns. You just want it to be like one solid flowing motion. Like you have the whole thing here, just that, and then go down back here. Just one big turn. Like you did more of like a bottom turn, and then you kind of waited, and then you turned, and then you were like, okay, I'm done with that turn, but you weren't done with that turn. You still could have been turning at that point. And you could have still been turning and just a little bank off this whitewash, and you wouldn't be bouncing right there. You wouldn't need to. And then you just kind of waited a little too long to go for your next move. See? You should have, if you did that little check right there, just keep going. Or, I don't know if you could have done that. You should have been going right into a bottom turn right there, and then did another one. And you would have been hitting that section right there, which is the spot. You just waited a second too long. A little trip up. Float. These floaters. Just throwing it up there. See even how, like, remember I was telling you to throw it up there, and he's kind of looking down the wave. He's not looking at his nose of his board. And he's using that to get more speed to come down and do another thing. And see, he did it again. He's not looking at his board. That's the position your body needs to be in when you're doing those backside hits. It's kind of like, this is what it looks like. Your arms look like that. Your board's supposed to be straight up. It's like, let's go to the next one. Charlie, big old slasher. And that's the whole Seaside video. So that is that.